Do you like elf on elf incest, animal abuse, having a naked vampire watch you as you sleep, and whatever the this is? Then Baldur's Gate 3 is the game for you. So of course there's also a tremendous amount of exploration, a beautiful vast world, deep emotional driven storylines, a really fun combat system, an in-depth character progression system, and a whole lot more. But who cares about all that? So I spent the last few days playing early access of Baldur's Gate 3, and I gotta tell you, it is difficult to put into words just how good this game is. I have more than 30 hours in this game, and I've been having a blast. I've been doing the main quest, I've been doing side quests, I've been trying different routes, I've been reloading and making different decisions, and I still feel like I haven't really even scraped the surface. This game is ridiculous, and I am so excited for full release. And I'm guessing you are too, which is why you're here. So let's just get into it. Here are my favorite things about Baldur's Gate 3 to help you get hyped for full release. Saying that decisions matter is a little bit of an understatement in Baldur's Gate 3. Your decisions completely alter your experience. And one of the craziest things is that you don't really understand just how different it can be until your second or third playthrough. Of course, you have your regular actions and responses. You can be a jerk and have people react unkindly to you, or you can save everybody and be praised the hero. But you can also completely block off or open up different parts of the game based off of your choices and actions. What I thought was a necessary part of the plot in my first playthrough, I was completely blocked off from in my second because of my actions. And it's not just a few NPCs or one or two side quests. There is probably 10 hours worth of story and quests shut off to me because of my actions, which was awesome. And your choices aren't limited to just actions and responses, but also include the entire path of progression you want to take. There are so many routes to go with no particular set order. If you run into a temple and want to explore it, go ahead. It'll likely lead you to hours of side quests and discovery. There were so many times where I had to force myself back to the main story because I wanted to finish it before making this video. But I was so enthralled with the side quests that it was difficult. You can bypass entire areas, skip conversations, quests, go to areas that nobody's told you about yet. You have so much freedom in this game to choose your own path. Honestly, it is a little overwhelming, but that's such a good problem to have. About a quarter of the way through my second playthrough, I realized I didn't have one of my main companions. I really thought that they were bugged out or got stuck somewhere. But no, I just didn't go to the area where you find her, and the game didn't care. I just kept progressing forward anyway. Now, there might be some limitations to this at some point, but I haven't ran into it yet. I also found new side quests each time I played. When I thought I had completed everything there was available in early access, I just kept stumbling upon new things. The rabbit hole just kept getting deeper and deeper, and there seemed to be limitless places to explore and quests to take on. I think through all my playthroughs I completed everything that was available, but who knows? With the full release, the world will be even bigger with even more to do, and I am so excited to get into it. To start, there are 12 classes to choose from in Baldur's Gate 3, and while there is some overlap in spells and abilities, for the most part, each of them provides a pretty unique way to experience the game. Each class also has a number of subclasses to choose from, which further defines your playstyle. Including these subclasses, there are 46 different classes, providing you with a ton of ways to play. So far, I've played as a wizard, a bard, and a druid, and each had me playing in different ways. As a wizard, I was constantly finding ways to interact with the world around me to provide an edge in the battle. One instance, I was overrun by enemies, so I teleported up to the rafters, threw down a huge pile of grease, and set it ablaze with my fireball. Being able to turn the tide of battle like this when I felt completely overmatched was an awesome experience. As a druid, I could vary my battle plans based off my companions, positioning, and the enemies. I could take on a damage roll, fill in some healing when necessary, and even tank. And while I spent the least time thus far with the Bard, it was a lot of fun to take on a full support role, providing buffs and healing to my teammates as they focused on dealing damage. Companions also provide a whole new layer to play the game differently. Each one is its own class, and you can decide who to bring and when. You can bring all your damage dealers and try and blast your way through the game, or take a more balanced composition. It's entirely up to you. Progressing your companions takes us even a step further, as you can make a few choices for each when they level up, such as which subclass or abilities your companion takes, which just further defines their roles and your group composition. I loved being able to build not only my character, but also progress my companions and build them out as well. For my longest playthrough, I typically brought a cleric, a fighter, and a rogue along with my wizard, and I really felt like I was able to play each of these classes instead of just being limited to my own. Baldur's Gate 3 uses a turn-based combat system, which I suppose could be a negative if that's not your thing, but for me I had so much fun in combat. We talked a little bit about character and companion progress, as well as team composition, which adds a layer of strategy to each battle before you even get started. And when the battle does start, there is so much to consider. The environment plays a huge role in combat, and it's something that's really easy to overlook. You might want to just jump into head-to-head combat, but using the world around you for a strategic advantage is not only really fun, but it's really beneficial. Having higher ground, for example, is really important, and it goes far beyond just standing on a slope. Throughout castles and dungeons, there's usually somewhere hidden for your characters to climb or jump up to provide a huge benefit for the fight. Seriously, don't sleep on this. There were so many battles I won just because of taking a little extra time to find good positioning. And without spoiling too much, there are often things in the environment that you can interact with to change the tide of battle as well. In one particular battle, I wiped maybe 10 times before trying a strategy involving the environment that ultimately gave me the upper edge. And on top of the actual battle, the gear in this game also provides a really fun twist to the fights. For instance, I received boots that allowed the wearer to teleport. Being able to give these to my fighter gave her a unique magical advantage that is typically only for casters. Overall, there wasn't a ton of armor and weapons. My wizard, for example, had the same robe almost the entire time. But I really like how the armor and weapons, they did add a different element to a character beyond just taking less damage. And I'm really excited to see what sort of gear and weapons are available in full release. So I'll spare you the details of the main story for you to experience for yourself. But on a general level, at least for Act 1, I'm hooked. The main story is compelling enough to keep me interested in progressing it. Although honestly, one negative is that, at least so far, it's one of those things where you're told to go talk to somebody for a solution, and as soon as you reach that person, they don't have it, but they suggest someone else, so you go to them and they don't have it, and it just kind of continues. But I'm at least curious to see where it goes with full release. The true reason for this section, however, isn't the main quest, it's the side quests. You of course have your companion quest, which I'm excited to explore further. At the start, the game does a really good job introducing you to each companion, that is of course assuming you decide to have them join you, and giving each just enough story and background to make you want to dig deeper. The other side quests are also equally as compelling. One specific quest splintered off from the main quest and had me explore a goblin camp to find an entrance to the Underdark. When I found it, I had to solve a puzzle to unlock the passage. Once there, I had to explore the Underdark to find a hidden city. When I found it, I had to find its hidden forge. With the forge found, I had to find the right pieces to make something with the forge. And of course, it was protected. I'm purposely not giving away too much, but this entire quest was something I decided to do off a whim because it seemed interesting to me. During this time, the main quest had me staying above ground to kill some goblins, but I took a 10-hour detour just because it was fun. Now the game might eventually guide me there, I'm not sure, but being able to do it as I just kind of stumbled forward out of curiosity was amazing. With the full release, it's seriously going to be so difficult to focus on progressing the main story because the game's side quests and companion quests are really where I think it shines. So that's all I got. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite part of Baldur's Gate 3 is, and if you're watching this on launch day, let me know what class you're gonna go with because I am still undecided. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Until the next one.